you gotten to work against so many different opponents over the course of your time in the business. Who are some of your favorite opponents that you got to wrestle against?
Oh my gosh. All right. So I love wrestling against Wendy. That is when I had to be a heel, a bad guy.
Mhm.
And Wendy just made it so easy to be a bad guy. And she was phenomenal, just an incredible worker. I enjoyed tag teaming up with Misty Blue against uh, the Glamour Girls, Judy and Leilani. We had some incredible feuds against them that I can just I still chuckle at some of the matches that we had because they were fun. I
Hmm.
mean, there's always a blooper, or there will be flub ups, but it was fun. It's like dancing if you're, to work the crowd and to work against such skilled people. I also enjoyed working against Bad, Black, and Beautiful, which was Jean Kirkland and Mary Fryer, with me and Misty. I loved working against Rusty the Fox Thomas and Peggy Lee Leather. Had some incredible single matches with both of them and phenomenal matches. Debbie Combs. I I mean, they were just all of them were like dancing. Um, there were maybe a handful of people I wrestled maybe once or twice, that were weekend warriors or territory girls. Um, and I never really had an opportunity to really see them again. But by far, the ones that I mentioned were a couple of my favorites
Yeah.
by far. Yeah.
You had mentioned teaming up with Misty Blue Sims. What was it like being around her?
Actually, it was okay. So it's funny because her and our paths crossed again this past last year in August. She finally made her very first autograph debut because what she had explained to me was she said, everybody that's in the sport, they ate, slept, and breathed it. She says, you were second generation, so you kind of knew people. She says, so you kind of stayed in and out because you were a second generation. She says, but she says, unfortunately for me, the opportunity came where our paths crossed. Killer Kowalski, and he saw that we were putting on a boxing tournament and says, hey, you can make more money wrestling. And she says, because we saw him at a fair. And she says, the next thing me and my girls are going to Kowalski's learning how to wrestle. She says, but I didn't, it wasn't her first love per se. She says, so she doesn't, she says I said, you shouldn't feel guilty because I said, you paved the way for so many women in this sport that she sells herself short with that. But she looked at it that was just a journey in her life, and
Hmm.
the opportunity came, and she tried to take full advantage of it in a positive way that she could you
Yeah.
know yep.
You'd mentioned her a little bit ago, you got to work against Medusa with
Yes, a lot.
WWE.
Yes. Her and I had some incredible feuds. So I had the opportunity to work with her initially and Debbie Combs for at the Showboat for AWA.
Hmm.
And that is when I met Medusa the first time, which was, I think it was December of 1987 going into 88. And I had the opportunity of our paths crossing. I got to my path crossed with Debbie as well, and it started a really nice friendship and a feud, of course. And then Medusa and I went up and down. We were Minneapolis, Minnesota area, South Dakota, North Dakota for AWA. And then they came out to the East Coast, and I got to work with her some more here. And then she was contracted with Japan, and other stuff was happening here. And then finally, our paths crossed again with LPWA and with WWE with the Women's Championship out. And yeah, just had some really incredible matches with her. I really enjoyed tagging with her at the end. We were building something really nice, and then I got pregnant, and it kind of just like I kind of felt bad. And she's like, "Don't feel bad because you were told you couldn't have a baby." And some of us women in the sport, give up our personal life just to chase the dream. Right? It makes me
Hmm.
want to cry because these women have really given up so much. And she says, don't ever apologize for choosing a baby, And but I also knew that me choosing to be a mommy would affect the angle we were working, because we just started like the momentum going against Luna and Bull with building up, this incredible tag team that we were doing. And we were just jiving so well that, what are you going to do? Happy
It's
memories, very good memories. I really enjoyed our time together. She was a lot of fun to travel with, too. Oh, the trouble we would get into.
any fun stories you want to
Oh
share?
God. Oh, we were wrestling against Bull and Luna the one night in Wisconsin. This was for WWE. And so we had eaten at a Perkins, and this cutie patootie was hitting on me, because I was cute. Once I was cute, right? And he's like, "I'm in a band," and I'm like, "Okay." Like that stuff really doesn't. And Medusa's like, "Oh, well, and he plays grunge music, and she's like, "Oh, well, we're at." And she's asking for me because he's trying to hit on me, and I'm too stupid to see this. And he says, "Oh, we're gonna be," and she's like, "Oh," so he says, "Well, here, Heidi, here's my card," and he gives me his card. And Medusa's like, "Oh, you're gonna have a date." So I'm like, whatever. So we go and we wrestle that night. And I put on this really cute. Now I've never been to a grunge concert, right? Not realizing you should really be in a pair of jeans, right? Rocker
Hmm.
clothes.
Hmm.
So I had this really cute, sexy skin tight, because that was the generation. I had
Hmm.
this really cute skin tight black dress on. And we go to this nightclub, and he's like waving to us, and we come over, and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting ready to go on." And I said, "Okay." So Medusa grabs herself a beer. I don't really drink beers. I like sweet drinks, so I forget what I even grabbed. I think it was a rum and diet coke. So I grabbed my rum and diet coke. Medusa's in these cute jeans and a jean jacket, and here I am in this cute little like ready for nightclubbing, not moshing. And all of a sudden he goes on, and the head's banging. Right? All of a sudden, bodies are banging. And this is before they started punching each other. They would do the body slamming.
Hmm.
No fists were thrown yet. It was
Hmm.
just strictly body slamming, chest pounding, right? So here they're chest pounding, and Medusa is leaning, Alundra Blaze is leaning against one of the main support beams, drinking her brewski. And I'm just looking at my jaws, I'm like, "Oh my God." And she's looking at me, just nodding her head, holding up her brewski. And I'm stepping over all these bodies, right? Because all these bodies are being thrown all over the place. We laughed so hard that when we got into the car to go back to the hotel that night, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Whatever. And she's like, "Whatever happened to Heidi Lee Morgan? She hung up her boots to learn how to grunge." It was one of the best highlighted times of our outing with WWE. It was just, oh my God, it was so entertaining.
That is
Yeah.
so cool, though.
Yeah.